Majority of the people in prison act off impulse or they're trying to impress another man. I used to just act off impulse. I never really thought about anything. With anger, it was just like fight.
Every single day is a struggle. Every single day is a battle for me.
This guy did something, he bumped me. I would take it that it was just serious, like, hey man, the heck are you doing bumping into me? And I'd curse at him or something like that or want to fight.
And I've always worried about slipping either back into addiction or back into a certain behavior.
My name's Anna Debenham, and I'm the founder of the Insight Alliance, an organisation that works with men and women both in prison and also in the community. This understanding points to the universal principles that underlie how our experience is created moment to moment. And in my work with people, I'm really just sharing two simple truths. Firstly, we have everything we need inside ourselves to lead a good life. We have an innate intelligence, an innate wisdom that's living us, whether we know it or not. And secondly, I invite people to understand how their experience of life is being created moment to moment from the inside out. What I've found in my work in prison and with individuals is when people see that their experience of life is coming from thought in the moment and it's not coming from the outside world, then we can have a different relationship to the outside world and we can have a different relationship with our feelings.
There's a bunch of situations that I avoided, by just thinking it out instead of just reacting. You can't go off of what this person did or this person did. You gotta go off of what you do and how you think. That's what this class did for me. It made me realize that I don't have to blame this person. Okay, he made me mad. No, I made myself mad. He has no control over me.
Rather than doing something with anger once it's happened, we're just pointing to where it's coming from. So then if they see that, if they don't run with this thought, they don't run with this line of thinking that's then creating this anger, and they can see that it's just thought in the moment, that it's just energy that's taken form, and they're just putting a lot of attention on it, and it's building, and then their consciousness is bringing their experience to life and making it seem and feel real. Well, then of course it's like they feel like they're an angry person, then they've got to do something.
I've always classified myself as an addict of some sort or prone to certain behavior. None of that has to happen, because the truth of the matter is it all stems from a thought. And it's really as simple as that. And that's huge. That's the biggest thing for me.
Prior to the class, I had anger issues. I took everything personal. I was real quick to snap on somebody. I found it kind of funny, like the first day I was in your class and you were explaining everything, I was just smiling. I couldn't quit smiling because I've already had this stuff inside of me, and you always tell us, hey, we got the answers in us. The answers are within us, we're okay. So before all this had happened, I was real quick to snap on people. And I just, learned to calm down and just look at myself. Yeah, all my issues really do stem from myself.
And the battle comes from within inside, so knowing and having that, having that peace of mind and having that where I can't let anybody push that button or push me a certain way.
I bought an ice cream, I came back and I put it in the freezer. I was gonna eat it that night, because you got to tell a certain period of time to eat it. Somebody took it out of the freezer and ate it. Ate it by mistake, he said, but normally I would have just went in and beat him up, But I just came back from your class, in fact. I was more grounded and just relaxed, and I was able to deal with the situation without being reactive. Now is that my reality is a reflection upon my thoughts.
We can wake up one day, or the guys can wake up one day and think that they got it, life's going well, they're okay. And another day they can wake up and think that everything's, going to hell. Now, nothing actually has changed but our state of mind, and we can honestly believe that life one day looks great and everything's exciting and we're okay, and the next day we can think something different.
You kind of collect all these thoughts, and it just collects upon you, and then you have every thought has its own feeling. you know? And so then you just come like this bundle of thoughts. You just seem to collect them. You don't let them go, and then you have all these feelings, and they just swirl around in you, and you just don't know how to act. Now, it's a little bit different. I just get rid of those thoughts, cleared out that garbage.
When you see these guys at the beginning of the program, where some of them just think I'm talking absolute nonsense, and by the end of it, having had the insights they've had through the class, they just have such a lightness of spirit. They're doing great in their other programs, and their lives for them really are going so much better.
I want to try to do something different, you know what I'm saying, and try to make a change. And that's the difference in me from back then. Before I wasn't using my brain. I was just reacting on everything. Now I use my brain. I think about a lot of different things, different consequences, how I could help, how I could fix this situation, how I can make this situation better, how this situation is not good for me, how this situation is gonna hurt other people, you know, so that stuff I start thinking, you know, so now, and I'm more caring, you know what I'm saying, of people, you know, that actually care about me. Just knowing how simple it is, you know, just using your thought, just using your brain. Just knowing that, I mean, that puts me in a space that's, I'm just at peace with everything, because I don't have any burdens. I don't have anything beating me upside the head. I'm not mad about nothing. I'm happy, you know. I mean, it's a good feeling, because I didn't know. I mean, like, you know, but you don't know. But before this, I didn't know, you know what I'm saying, how to control my thoughts. Well, I thought I didn't. And I mean, when your head is clear like this of any type of bull, I mean, you just got this sense of calmness about yourself, because you don't have anything in there distorting your brain.
I think just reestablishing who I am out here as a whole right now has been the biggest thing for me, is just trying to figure all that out. And I'm just trying to stay focused with everything, and just remember, you know, that I do got a lot of thoughts that are going through my mind, but not to feed these thoughts daily, you know, to overwhelm myself with too much thought. Or think going through classes and group with you, I think it really helped to keep me grounded in a positive way, that I don't have to let all this stuff affect me like that, you know, to know that I'm all right.
When they leave and they're on the outside, they have less thinking about being a criminal. They have less thinking about what other people are going to think about them. They just kind of show up to life, and they've got less on it. And with less stories, we kind of get in our way less, and so they get jobs.
Actually, I was really surprised, because first application, they called me up right away. I mean, it happened so fast. And I'm in there, I'm like, yeah. And then in the interview, they said, oh, so you just have to pass the background check. I thought, oh, there it is. I've lost it. And it was basically, that was just the first thought. And I just said, well, listen, this is what's going on with my life. I explained it, told them, and just, like, you know, been honest with them. They appreciated that. He says, okay, well, we're gonna look at how honest you were with us, and then boom. They came back and said, hey, we appreciate it. You were totally honest with everything, and they gave me the job.
It's not an intellectual understanding, it's an insight-based learning. So when they see it for themselves, when they see that thought in the moment is creating their experience, that it's not the outside, then something changes, because it's coming from them. So it's not me telling them this is how it works. That's not helpful. I mean, it is to a point, but then when they get an insight and they see it for themselves, then sort of like thought can fall away, and they start to not take everything so seriously.
I used to have these beliefs and these thoughts that, you know, I don't deserve this, or I don't deserve that, you know, or sooner or later I'm gonna mess up, you know, with addiction or whatever, because I'm an addict, you know. And I mean, and so I'd have these, you know, everything would go great for months, and I'd have little bumps. Everything would go great for months, and I'd have a little bit bigger bump, and then everything would go great for months, and everything would end. And usually me in handcuffs.
Just because we've been an addict in the past, it doesn't mean that we're going to be an addict in the future. You know, we had coping mechanisms in the past because we didn't know better. We were doing the best we could with the state of mind we have, and then we kind of, you know, want to feel better. So then we're drawn to things that make sense in the moment. But when you see something new, you don't need those same coping mechanisms, because you don't need to escape from your experience of life, because you understand where your experience is coming from.
Everybody has issues, and people make mistakes, and, you know, people grow, and people just do the best they can in the moment, you know. So, and at different times we're all equipped differently to handle things.
What we're doing is pointing them back to themselves, rather than saying do X, Y, and Z, and this is going to be good for you. It's like, well, no, everyone is going to do their life the way they do life. But when we understand where our experience is coming from, we have a quieter state of mind, because we're not chasing thoughts and feelings the whole time, and we can actually be present, more present in the moment.
Good evening and welcome to Prison Pipeline. I am Emma Lugo. I'm one of the co-hosts of Prison Pipeline, and I'm here tonight with Anna Debenham. And Anna is going to introduce us to a couple of other guests that we have in studio.
They're just less stressed. They're less anxious, that they hold on to less of their feelings, that they just allow them to pass through, and they can be more present, and they're more relaxed. And you can see them how they are, even when we were interviewing in class, and then of course when we're outside.
I think at one point in time, you could have released me and I would have came back to prison.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it took me quite a while to go ahead and change my mentality, and then I had to make changes within myself. And then I got to Columbia River, and a friend of mine who was also a student of Anna's, he just was talking to me about it, and he says, no, you would really benefit from taking her class. And
It's what the small steps that lead to bigger steps, and just being okay with today and being happy with what today has to offer. Then tomorrow's another day, and I can move on. So I'm trying to learn. You know, I just very recently got out, so obviously I still feel somewhat detached from society. And they keep saying that that's pretty normal. At the same time, just taking it every day, day by day.
The moment we have is right here and right now, and they start to see that, and that they're actually, when they're in the moment, they're okay, they feel okay, they know they're okay. It's only when they get caught up in their thinking about the future or the past that they start thinking, I'm not okay. And so what they find is, you know, life goes better when I'm in the moment, and I'm just living my life day to day, as it happens, not reacting to thought, not reacting to others. They can't do anything to change anybody else. They can just be in their own mind, in their own head, in their own body, and do the best they can. And so they're less reactive, and they're less stressed, and they're just doing, they're doing great. Because I was curious, knowing that there's some guys inside that are listening to Prison Pipeline. I'm curious, both of you, is there any words of wisdom that, in terms of, guys that are coming out soon, that you can impart now you're out and you've had the experience?
It's not easy. It's a struggle, but you just got to embrace it. You know what I'm saying? Just keep going forward.
Embrace the struggle.
Right.
Don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Because there's a prize at the end of the tunnel. Freedom.
Man, and the freedom is beautiful.
Yes, it is.